And a whole lot of pushing just to kill my appetite.
And that was High Cost of Living from the Mighty Reapers there. And I think a lot of us are struggling with the high cost of living. And I'm going to be talking with Mark Mordue, one of the artistic directors, about a new festival, Addi Road Writers Festival 2024. Well, the new topic is the cost of living. And I have Mark Mordue on the phone. Hi, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Welcome to Eastside. So give us some background on this. I mean, it's a very current topic. So I'd like to know, was this sort of something that just happened recently, or did it just happen to coincide with a really shocking struggle with the cost of living that everyone's really going through at the moment?
It's probably a bit of both. I mean, the Addi Road Writers Festival, this will be our fourth year. It's housed at the Addi Road Community Centre. The Addi Road Community Organisation puts the whole thing together with a bit of funding backing from Inner West Council. So we're very entrenched with what's going on at street level, with how our community is affected. And when we talk about cost of living, of course, which is something we intrinsically understand because food relief and other aspects to sort of human rights and social justice in our work is such a powerful part of what we do. We understand that the cost of living isn't just how much people are paying for groceries, how much people are struggling with keeping a roof over their heads and getting paid reasonably or securely being in their jobs. It's also that impact existentially, how it affects people's relationships, how much it can destroy families, how much it impacts on mental health, all these kind of issues. And with that, of course, I mean, artists as much as anyone else are feeling the brunt of that and trying to negotiate how best to articulate their feelings as fellow human beings and members of the community and maintain a bit of also independence, how to be outspoken, how to speak the truth about things and about themselves when they too are so vulnerable and weakened by what's going on. And the whole process really is there's a very dehumanising energy out there, and it brings a lot of pessimism into people's lives and a lot of powerlessness.
It does, doesn't it? It really does. I was talking to one of my colleagues here earlier about this. The world is just seems to be in a pretty rough state at the moment, and it's hard to deal with. It's hard to even sort of think of one issue because really there are so many things that, going on around the place that are pretty hard to swallow. So how do you decide on who is part of the festival? How do people apply? Do writers submit work? What's the process?
Well, the festival's curated by myself and Sheila Knock-Pham. We're the co-artistic directors and have been for the last couple of years.
Your background,
really,
can I just ask you, are you Mark Mordue? Did you used to be a muso journalist way back?
Not used to be, still am.
Oh, still are, I beg your pardon.
Review a bit for The Australian.
Oh, right, okay.
All right. Out a couple of years back.
Right, I recognise the name.
That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Maybe notorious if not famous, I don't know. Doing my best, but I mean, I write about a lot of things, but music's, being a rock journalist is definitely a core part of who I am for sure. Yeah. And that, I mean, it's kind of an answer to your question, really, in terms of how we put it together. I mean, if I'm really honest, it's a little bit of a wild style approach. It's a little bit ad hoc. It's a mix of things I like and things that Sheila Knock-Pham likes, friends, connections. And it's a bit like sailing a boat across the sea. You start to recognise what's going on, what's happening with the wind, what's happening with the surface of the water, and all the different writers and poets and the people you start talking to. They have as much to do with shaping the festival as what we do. And, a few people apply, but a lot of it too is just trying to create a balance between more established writers, totally new storytellers and figures that have not really had much of a platform at all. It's intergenerational, so you've got much older established figures, as I say, and very young people. Like we've got the Walkley Opportunity Fellowship winners who are both two young journalists just talking about how they see the media coming in from a more lower socioeconomic base what opportunities are there for them, how they've made opportunities for themselves so far. So that'll be a really interesting panel. I'm talking to and interviewing a young hip-hop musician called Rox Labby that I saw down at the South by Southwest Black Future concert recently. And I was just really struck by his poetic approach to hip-hop music and to storytelling. And I was really interested in his life and his vision for his music, particularly his lyrics and what that says about First Nations life in regional spaces. And then we've got, major sort of, authors like Malcolm Knox, whose novel The First Friend's been getting rave reviews all over the place. Coralie Dimitriades, whose short story collection, The Mother Must Die, which by its title alone tells you something, is a pretty wild feminist spin through a whole lot of things to do with working class migrant life and being a single mum and sex, religion, the works. I mean, again, with the cost of living theme, it's not fixed in just that economic base. Sure. It's really about what it means. How do we live? How do we struggle? How do we live well, too? Like, it's not just about misery. It's also about how do we create a better lives for ourselves and a freer and better mindset. Because a lot of what I'm talking about has a lot to do with a lot of people feeling that they can't talk at all, so they kind of give up on communication, which is the other problem many of us are facing.
Yeah, it's also interesting in the past when the world has had periods of major struggle, it's often been a time of sort of huge creativity. I wonder whether that's part of it, that people feel they haven't got a voice. So they create, they write songs, they write poetry, they write stories. And, so is it held on one day, or how's it being...
it's a one-day festival, so it's really concentrated. It's on Saturday, the 23rd of November, kicking off at 11 a.m. and goes till about 6 in the evening here at the Addi Road Community Centre space in Marrickville. We're trying to keep it cheap, basically, so that people can afford to come, because this is the other thing with these kind of festivals. People who are interested and who need it often can't afford to, including artists, often can't afford to attend. So it's $25 if you book online, $30 on the day, and obviously we're providing sort of discounted prices that you can check out as well for people that are unemployed or that students, that kind of thing, and all that info is either at our website, addiroad.org, or even better if you just want to go and book tickets, just get onto Humanitics and dial up Addi Road Writers Festival 2024, and we'll be there,
Fantastic.
Singing our song, tap dancing, writing,
and it'll just be
poetry, the works.
So it'll be different people, it'll be writers being interviewed, there'll be panels, so the whole day will be just sort of a selection of sort of all sorts of things, I imagine, to do with the festival. Exactly,
because it's a writers' festival, but it's also a storytelling festival. Yeah. So you've got spoken word. There's a couple of really brilliant young musicians, Sephi, Rox Labby that I mentioned before, and another artist, Alas Indigo, who's also quite brilliant. So there's plenty of music. There's a lot in the festival. It's a real mosaic. And we want it to be energetic like that. We don't want it to be like a kind of, just people sitting around talking and droning on for ages. We want to have a bit of energy and for it to be a pleasure as well.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's a wonderful area, the Addison Road Market area, where there's just so much going on. And do get down, people. The markets are on that weekend, I am assuming.
They are. They're on the Sunday.
On the Sunday. Oh, right. Okay.
We're on the Saturday, but we're actually going to have the same sort of atmosphere. We've got the street where it'll be held making use of the street outside of Hut 8, and we're using the Stir Up Gallery as well. So we've got it'll be kind of like a big day out come rock and roll festival for writers and storytellers, and there'll be stalls and marquees, food, coffee, the works. So it's meant to have that kind of kind of picnic festival event atmosphere to it.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, well, look, I'm just going to give those details again. This is the Addi Road Writers Festival for 2024, Saturday the 23rd of November from 11am to 6pm, folks, and that's Marrickville in Sydney. And what's the actual... I mean, it's Addison Road. I don't know what the number is, but, I mean, most people would... You can just Google Addison Road.
142, he says, knowing it off by heart, but
right.
Most people should be able to Google it.
Yeah, most people will know it
Be
too,
there
I
or
think.
be square.
Absolutely.
Get on your penny picks.
Yeah.
Don't miss out.
No, absolutely. So get your tickets, folks, at Humantics. 142, there you go, 142 Addison Road, Marrickville. Yeah, and it's a great space. It's wonderful. Well, look, good luck with all that, Mark. I'm sure it sounds like it's going to be an absolutely fabulous day, and I'm pretty sure you'll have lots of interest in this. And I love the idea that you're not just doing writing, you're reading, interviewing writers, you've got music, you've got a real sort of eclectic mix of the way you're presenting this, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. We've got a kids cartooning workshop as well with this guy David Blumenstein. So it's all ages, all vibes, and the atmosphere of the place, like I said, it's what it's really like a big literary warehouse party.
Oh, fab!
So that really is the atmosphere, because the space at Addi Road kind of is actually the physical environment kind of drives the whole consciousness of what the festival's about. When you get down to it.
Yeah, it really does have an impact, doesn't it, that area on how the events appear and how they feel. And it's a great buzz. As soon as you walk through into the driveway, you walk through the gates, it's just a great vibe as soon as you get in there. Okay, and I can tell you what, the markets are great on a Sunday too. You get some,
another world.
Yeah, it is. It is another world. It's wonderful. And you can take old furniture there and get it fixed. Oh, all sorts of things happen down there. It's just amazing. Well, Mark, thank you so much for being a guest on Eastside on Wednesday Drive, and folks, do get down along to the Writers Festival. It sounds like a brilliant thing to do on the 23rd of November. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. That's Mark Mordue, the artistic director, one of the artistic directors of the Addi Road Writers Festival, and 23rd of November. Sounds like a great fun.